and welcome to 9 to 42, the podcast from the team at the Guitar Show UK. Join us for interviews, updates and chat with artists, influencers and those that manufacture the gear that we love.
Hello and welcome to 9 to 42, which is the podcast from the guys at the Guitar Show UK. It's been a faffy old day for me, but Jason's looking relaxed and serene and ready for this. How are you, Jason?
I'm really good, thank you. I've had a great day. I don't know what's been wrong with yours, but mine's been great.
Well, mine's been fine. I've arrived here a lot earlier than I thought I would. I thought my day would be longer, if that makes sense. My day's gone very. Why's your day been good? I
had a great day yesterday. I went over to the studio with Mike Exeter for a few hours and played guitar. And then I went to see the new Tom Petty film. The new Tom Petty film. I think it's yesterday and Saturday is the only time you can see it at the cinema. Heartbreakers Beach Party, which was a lost film, been lost for 40 years, which was brilliant. And I've been over to see Mike Exeter again this afternoon. So I've had a great time. Right,
okay. Because you made the decision to do some work with Mike, haven't you?
I have, yes.
You finally decided he's going to be your George Martin, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Yeah. So, I'm quite excited. I've never sat down with somebody who's an expert before.
None taken.
And he made 4 pages of notes on the songs that I'd written.
Okay. Joining us tonight for what is episode 2 of the new series, and I only know that because I know we've recorded one already, so by default this has to be number 2. We have John Wines, who's probably better known to everybody as the Old Grey Guitarist. That's right, isn't it, John?
That's right. That's me.
And Jason and I were talking before, because we both tried to do a little bit of research, as you do. Before these kind of things. And we were both talking before and we realised we couldn't actually find, with all the amount of content there is on you, we couldn't actually find a lot about you. We know what you've put out, we know the various bits you've done in terms of all the videos you've done, but actually finding stuff out about you was quite difficult. So would I be right in saying that the first time you came to the wider public's attention was America's Got Talent?
No.
Right, so we're already wrong. So
No, you're wrong. I knew that. You've been doing videos for about 12 months before that, hadn't you?
Yeah, the journey starts, crikey, probably, do you know what, I don't know, that was 23. Quite some months before that, yes.
Right.
I September 22 was when I'd set up TikTok. Only because the lockdown sort of screwed us all, and financially in a lot of ways every musician suffered. So I was just sort of posting stuff onto like on Facebook, Stratocaster page, Telecaster page, whatever. Just improvisation, just in the hope of getting the odd online student, which I did. And then one day this thing called TikTok's on your phone and you think, well, that's videos. I'm already posting that. I'll put it out on that as well. Because that's the great thing now. I can teach someone in Australia. It doesn't matter, does it? So I put that out on that, and that just sort of trundled along for many months. I'm not sure even when I totally joined it. And then one day, and I was just used to do, it was, every few weeks, just do an improvisation when I had half an hour and do that. And then I thought, for some reason, and I don't know why, I just thought, well, I'll do a set solo. So I thought, well, what am I going to do? And I just did All Right Now by Free, because I love that one. So I did that, and that did 5, 6 times what anything else I'd ever done. So I thought, oh, okay, people like to see that then. I didn't know. I had no idea. So I thought, okay. So then I recorded the Hotel California ones. And I was just having me tea, and I was going to put them out that night, or one of them out that night. And then I thought, well, what else can I do? And I thought, well, I'd do Bohemian Rhapsody because everybody loves that. So I just come back down, quickly recorded it, chucked it out, and it'll probably, and I don't know why I always remember it, but in a couple of hours, it had done like 224 views. It was nothing. By the time I went to bed, I think it was about 1,500. In the morning, life was different. It had done over 200,000. Overnight, it just gone viral. By lunchtime, it was 1 million. By the end of the day, it was 3.4 million. And it was just building and building and building and just going crazy. And I was getting messages from old students saying that, oh, well, I've seen you on my For You page. I didn't even know what that was. Didn't have a clue. So that's how all that came about. And then, of course, subsequently, I think I had about 4 or 5 virals literally in a row, literally just one after the other. And then it was exactly 100 days that I passed the 1 million follower mark. Wow. So it was, exactly 100 days. It's crazy.
How does that feel? Well, because you've got 1.4 million.
I don't know. I just do what I do. It don't, the TikTok's weird at the moment. It's not pushing music. Instagram's far better for me at the moment. That's gone, subsequently that's gone very well. And there's more musicians on Instagram. It's an older clientele, if you like. So I find that much better engaged now than TikTok. But, they lost their music license for a while.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know what, they're just not pushing it. You know what these algorithms are like?
Yes.
So they're not pushing it. So, sometimes I get good views on something, but it's mainly Instagram that goes really well now. So, that seems to do quite well for me.
So basically, one day you're a guitar teacher.
Well, yeah, I still am. I'm still working 5 days a week. So, yeah.
At Bourne Academy?
Yeah, I got a Bourne Academy. I was working at the Burgate School as well. And also I work at a PRU, which is a pupil referral unit. I've done that for 20 years. Which is where kids go when they've been excluded or if they've got medicals and they can't go to normal school, like mainstream. So I've been doing that. Well, yeah, I've been doing that the longest, 21 years, I think now. So, yeah, and still do that. I'm not at Burgate anymore because I'm literally just now trying to slow down a little bit because things are going quite well. As far as sort of now actually making a bit of a profit out of it, but it's took 2 years. I've been offered everything. Trust me. I've been offered fake eyelashes to barbecue tools. I think the weirdest one was I actually got offered my own OnlyFans page.
Wow.
Yeah, it was in Spanish, so I had to put it in translate. And I'll always remember it because at the bottom it said, but don't worry, we won't show it in your country of residence. I just laughed at delete. So that's probably the weirdest thing I've ever been offered. Although quite why I'd want fake eyelashes, I'm not really sure. But these people don't even look. They just see the amount of followers and think, oh, that's great. And, you get these emails literally weekly, daily. We think your channel is a great fit for us. And we do fake eyelashes. Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, it's all about the fake eyelashes. There's nothing about the music.
I get those, though, for the guitar shows, Instagram pages. Yeah. We think that this jewellery will really fit your audience. And I'm like,
what? Yeah. Don't you look? Please just look. Give me some, honestly, delete. I don't bother even getting back to them anymore.
I just delete and block these days.
Yeah, that's it. Because they're just agencies all around the world that literally trawl the net for who's got, 1 million followers or whatever. And then that's it. And I suppose, some of them will say yes. I don't know. It ain't going to be me. That's for sure. I do music. End of. Unless there's a strong connection to music, I don't take the job on. It's as simple as that.
Now, this is fair, isn't it, to say, because you just said the thing you've been doing the longest is the pupil referral.
Yeah, that's
unit.
right. Yeah.
20 years. Okay.
20 years, 21 years. I think this is my 21st year there. So, yeah.
Right. Okay. So without wanting to offend you, I'm still guessing that 21 years ago, you probably hadn't just left school.
Oh, no. I'd been left a long time by then, trust me.
So obviously you're a teacher.
Yeah.
Has that always been what you've done, or
No.
was there something before that?
No, I was an electrician.
Right. Okay.
I was an electrician, and basically what happened was, since about 92, I got involved with the youth service, just voluntary helping kids out. 'Cause I was gigging a lot as well, and the main singer, or the singer in the band I was in at the time, his wife was a youth worker. So you know, you were surrounded by, I'll help out. Of course I will. I love helping kids. And we used to run weekends. We used to call it Rock Lab. And we get 50, 60 kids in, some in bands, some not. And we put them in bands 2 days. Second day, they do a gig. So some of them were really quite raw, to say the least. Some of them were good players, some of them have gone on to do very good things. But so we brought that in, and so obviously I had to bring in other teachers because I couldn't cope with it all. And I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't a teacher at all, not guitar teacher. I was just like, showing mate how to do this or whatever. And we pulled in a guy called Tim Wedlake, who's a local teacher, and a great musician, has become a very dear friend of mine. And we were having lunch, and I'd been made redundant that week. And he said, "What are you going to do over lunch on a Sunday?" And I said, "Well, I'd just get another job." I said, "I've had some offers." I said, "Don't bother me." And he said, "Well, have you ever thought about going into teaching?" I said, "No." No. I said, "I can't because I don't know what I'm doing." I didn't even know what a pentatonic scale was. And that's genuine. I'm always honest with people. I didn't even know a pentatonic scale. I could still play, but I've always played by ear. So my ear got me through with a lot of wrong notes. So he said, "I'll help you." So then it was like, okay, right. I better go back home and speak to my wife. And she said, "Well, you haven't got a job." So, I said, "Look, I can give it a go." So I did. I got through the local guitar shop, Guitar Mania. They helped me out, and we got a lot of private students very, very quickly. I got a job within the youth service, which then we did a job during the day for the PIU, and that's how all that came about. Then I just got 2 schools quite quickly after, which I've been at ever since. So I kind of fell into it. But then obviously what I did was, I put myself through all the grades and then did my teaching diploma as well, because I just wanted to. It's the one sure way to make sure you learn the proper way is to do all that. So, I didn't know it. So I thought, well, okay, if I'm going to invest all this time and money and I got to learn it, that will make me learn it. So that's why I did it.
Do you know what? I had exactly the same thing because I lecture for BIM.
Oh, right. Okay, cool.
And I got a call that said, "You ever thought about being a lecturer?" And I was like, "No." And it was the same thing. And I think it makes you better at your job when you have to explain to people how to do your job.
Yeah. And I took the opinion that if I wanted kids to do that, I should do it myself. But I had to learn it then. I had no choice. I mean, I could have bluffed my way through it, but I didn't want to do that. And obviously Tim helped me so much, and he was doing a lot of grades. And I think it was his suggestion probably to do it. I can't remember. It's a long time ago. But yeah, so that's why I did it. It makes you learn that because, I did them all with the RGT, which is sadly not what it used to be, unfortunately. And there's a lot of things I like about it. You have got a good theory knowledge and, what have you. So, but it's without question helped me so much because there was so many things that I've learned quite quickly that I thought, why didn't I do that in the first place? Like a lot of guitarists, though, it's like, well, I don't need no theory. No, you don't. You can go out there and you can play and have a good time. But if you start going into it a little bit, you don't have to go in too heavy. You will realise how much better a player that makes you.
Oh, I completely agree. A few years ago, the lead guitarist left the band I was in.
Right.
So I was doing vocals and rhythm guitar, and it was like, well, you need to play the solos as well. I was like, I can't solo to save my life. I'm terrible at guitar solos. Never been interested in playing them. So I went and had some lessons. And I was like, I don't know how I've managed to gig for like 30 years without knowing any of this stuff. And he was like, because you didn't need to know it.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't do it for very long. Ended up with a new lead guitarist, so that kind of removed the responsibility from my shoulders. But it was just like, Jesus, this isn't actually very difficult either.
No.
And I think that when I started to play, my family couldn't afford lessons, so I didn't get them.
Yeah, we didn't. I didn't. I only started playing because I shared a flat with two friends who did play. And it was like they were always practicing. So it was like we were all into rock music. So it's like, oh, go on then, I'll have a go. And I could do tapping before I could play a C and a G. Well, it was the 80s, man, you know, Van Halen. You know, I just want the good bits, you know.
I know so many lead guitarists like that.
Yeah. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Good fun. It's good fun.
What was the first guitar?
My first guitar was a Hohner. And it was like an Explorer shape-ish, single pickup. But when all the paint started coming off, you realised that it was made of plywood.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't the best of guitars, shall we say. But, you know, it was kind of quite difficult to buy a good, cheap instrument in them days, whereas nowadays it's quite hard to find a bad one, although you still can. There's still a few that shouldn't be making guitars, but generally speaking, there's some. I think my first Hohner in 1980 whatever was 83, 82, 83 was £110. Well, you can buy something for £110, you know, like a Court or something like that, and they're great, far better. And of course, £110 then was a lot of money.
More. We've got that in common because my first guitar, and it was probably about 85, I'm thinking.
Right.
I was about 14, so it'd be about 85, was a Hohner Les Paul, and it was truly terrible. It was truly terrible.
Pretty grim. No, I think they did a good job on Prince's telly because he got a good sound out of that one he had. But I think maybe that was, But then they got better. But in them days, it was, it wasn't good, was it?
No.
But nowadays, it is quite hard to buy a bad instrument.
I saw your chat from Guitar Summit with Dan from Yamaha when you were talking about the Pacifica.
Oh, yeah, he's great, Dan.
Yeah, he's a lovely, lovely chap.
Yeah.
And it's true, like the Pacificas just changed the game, didn't they? They were all of a sudden they were really good and really cheap.
They were really good. They really showed Squire how to do it.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
They did. Squire had to up their game when Pacifica came out. And, it's sad because they just disappeared. But they're now coming back.
Those first ones, a solid body guitar for 170 quid.
Yeah, the 112s and what have you. Yeah, they were great. Good pickups, everything. Really, really well made.
And in that natural finish as well. That really nice looking guitar as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was great. Just goes to show it can be done. And hopefully, like I say, they're coming back. Although nowadays there are a lot more makers out there, which I guess is a good thing. More choice, I don't know. But Squires are quite expensive now.
Yeah. They're pushing, 500 quid now, aren't they, the Squires?
Some of the decent ones are, you're into that mid-range price bracket now.
But even that's relative, because your Hohner would have been more than 500 quid now, wouldn't it?
It would be now. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I was earning a week then. Probably about 60 or 70 pound a week.
So it was a couple of weeks worth of cash, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it was a lot of money.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I don't know. Are they still going? Hohner?
Do you know what? It's a really good question.
No
I have no
idea.
idea. I'm going to have to find out now. So it's a good question, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. I've not seen them for a long time.
I want to take you back to something you said when you first started explaining, which was your wife obviously was really supportive when you made the decision to do the... that must have been a big thing, because in reality, what you were pitching wasn't a day job, was it? It probably didn't sound like a proper job almost.
No, it wasn't. And we just moved house and we were just about to get married. So it couldn't have come at a worse time. And it literally couldn't. And it wouldn't have gone on for very long. But I was also doing up the house as well. So it was kind of on my downtime. We're not paying anyone to come in and, knock 7 bells out of it and do all the, because I like DIY anyway. So I was doing everything like that as well. So that helped. But it really came together really, really quickly. I mean, really quickly. The job with the PIU came in. Well, the job of the youth service came in, and that was like 2 days' work, plus my private. And it was not far off what I was working or what I was earning as an electrician. And obviously, after a couple of years, I was earning more as an electrician. And nowadays, I could earn a lot more as an electrician because they're earning a blooming fortune now. It's all come full circle, isn't it?
But again, going back that far as well, having a job like you had, so being on the tools, that was steady income, wasn't it? I mean, you'd always get work.
It was. It was. I think actually now I remember it, I was still doing a little bit, just the odd day as well, and the odd job. But, it was mainly going over. But I stopped doing it completely, I would say, within a year.
So it was clearly meant to be, because in a lot of households, that conversation wouldn't have got past that first.
No, it wouldn't have done. No, it wouldn't have done at all. No, because like I say, it couldn't have been a worse time. We literally moved house. Yeah. And we were just about to get married as well.
Right.
So, yeah, it was, I think I got made redundant 2 months before, or told about getting made redundant 2 months before we got married. So...
It's a lovely story, because if you'd started off by saying, do you know what, I always knew I wanted to be a guitar teacher, but it took me 30 years to get there.
Yeah.
Like it was your calling or something. But actually, you like you said yourself, you fell into it.
I fell into it, and it was all down to Tim, because if I hadn't pulled him in, because he was a teacher, he'd been teaching since 85, he's still teaching now. He's actually working with me at the PIU now, teaching, which is great. So we're working together. And he said, look, I think you should do it because I think you'd be a good teacher. And it was only because he was watching what I was doing, and I didn't even know what I was doing. So go figure on that one. So, yeah, it literally almost by accident. The TikTok thing happened by accident, and then obviously the AGT thing happened by accident. Just like everything in my life, really.
Join those dots for us then.
Right, so this is September 22 was when it went viral.
Yeah.
And obviously I was feeding the machine every day because everyone was saying, you can earn loads of money out of this, blah, blah, blah. Really? Okay. So then we fast forward a few months, and I can't remember when it was, October, November, I'm not really sure. But I had a student at the Bourne Academy, a girl, bass player, and she was about to do her first concert. First, because they do the BTEC there, so it's part of their course that they have to play live, which is good. That's why we like it. So that's part of their, or they're doing GCSE at the moment because BTEC went down, but it's all changing again. And she was really nervous, and I actually didn't think she would do it because she was like absolutely terrified. And I said, look, don't worry. You're not going to believe me. I don't expect you to, because no one ever does. But you'll go out there. You'll enjoy it. It'll be terrifying. But when you come off, you'll want to go back out and do it again. And, of course, that happens, all right, which it does in 99.9% of the time, as you well know. But she actually said to me in a lesson, just a flippant comment, she said, well, it's all right for you, sir, but you don't get nervous anymore. And that's what she, and I just said, well, I do, but, you know how to cope with it and what have you. So then I'm flipping through Instagram. I think it was Instagram, if I remember rightly, one night. And there's an advert for virtual auditions for AGT. And I just chuckled to myself. Well, and her comment was ringing in my brain that, well, if I did that, that would make me nervous. So I just it was a flippant thing that I just got on the page, and I think all it was a quick form, where you are, blah, blah, blah. If you've got any socials, just link give us the link to that and we'll have a look, blah, blah, blah. And then forgot about it. obviously, just like it was never meant to be serious, ever. It was just probably one day I might say to her, look, I auditioned for it, or I applied, or whatever. And then we go go ahead till January, and I think it was about the 7th of January last year, 23. And I was waiting for an email from someone. And I couldn't believe that they hadn't got back to me because I was offering my services for free. And I thought, well, okay, it was a charity. And I thought, well, I'd like to help them out. And I thought, oh, well, why haven't they got back to me? And then I just suddenly thought, oh, I wonder if it's gone to spam, because sometimes things end up in there. And I never checked it. And I checked it in there and it wasn't there. But then there's this email from Kazoo. I can't remember his surname now. A lovely guy. It was my producer at the end of the day. We'd like to have a talk to you about coming over to do AGT. And I was with the IT bloke at the time. And I said, look, and you get scam ones all the time. And it's gone to junk. And I said to him, I said, look, they're even trying to scam me on this now. And he looked at it and he went, yeah, I'd have another look at that. He said, hang on a minute. And he did a few, because I'm no good with the internet. He said, mate, that's real. And I thought, and it wasn't until much later that I thought, oh, hang on, I forgot about that. So, of course, that then set off, and it was only been in there 2 days, just 2 days. So I quickly got back and said, I'm really sorry this went to spam. Yes, I'd love to set up a call and what have you. And I thought I blew it on the first one because I remember we had a great meeting. It was about 15, 20 minutes. And at the end of it, he said, do you mind if I ask you how old you are? And I said, yeah, I'm 59. He went, oh, really? I thought, yeah, I look about 79. And I thought, oh, well, I'm not going to be old enough now. But as it turned out, well, the rest is history, as they say. So
where was it filmed?
Pasadena.
Oh, right. Okay.
Pasadena in the Civic Auditorium there, which is a lovely, lovely building. Which is a beautiful building. Absolutely fantastic.
So do you have to fly yourself out to California?
No, they paid. They paid for my flights and hotel. And then literally that was hilarious because it was, and this was only, because it had been going on for so long, and then suddenly you get your tickets. So it's real then. And that was about probably 3 or 4 weeks before I was going to go. And then I got, of course, because of the time lag, when you wake up in the morning, that's when you get the, and we'd already decided what I was going to do and everything. And you get the emails. And my wife had gone to work because she's NHS. And it's like, I opened up the email in the morning. There's one from them, because trust me, we had hundreds of emails. And it said, we'd really like your wife to come. Oh, heck. And it's like 10 days to go. And so I quickly went back to him. I said, well, look, she's NHS. Trying to get time off is a nightmare when you've got 6 months in advance. Can I tell them what it's for? And they said, no. Oh, bloody hell. So I rang her and I said, look, you're not going to believe this. They want you to go, but you can't tell them. So you're going to have to go to your boss and say, look, I'm really, really sorry. I need time off. But I can't tell you why. And luckily, she's worked for them for nearly 40 years, and they thought, okay, something's happening. And luckily, they gave me the time off. So we both went over, which was a blessing, really.
When you're over there, so you obviously did like your initial performance, then is it quarterfinals, semi-finals?
No, it was So that happened. I mean, that's filmed. That's the first one. I did it on March the 28th. And the craziest thing about all this is we flew out on the Tuesday lunchtime to LA. On Saturday morning at 9 a.m., we're back in our living room eating breakfast, looking at each other, going, what the hell just happened? And we couldn't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Mm. We could have told people that I'd auditioned, but we couldn't tell because literally as soon as I finished my performance, the first person you go and see is, you need to go and see our lawyer. Oh, okay. And it's like, this is what you can say, this is what you can't say. Obviously, you know, and that's fine. And I could have come back and told people, but I didn't tell people because there was no guarantee that I was going to get airtime anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had a good idea because of what happened. You know, I thought it's a pretty good chance, but there's no guarantee, and they tell you that. So, yeah, so I didn't tell anyone until probably about 2 weeks before it was aired, when I knew it was going to be aired, basically, or a week before. And then I told everyone. It was like, what? Yeah, so it was all a bit weird. Yeah, very strange.
So I just wonder about the organisation.
It's slick. I mean, and they were great. I got to be absolutely honest with you. I can't fault them at all. You know, and do you know what? This happened. Not many people know this actually, because it was only a few months ago that I remembered what had happened, and I blanked it out of my mind. And I literally, because my world fell apart. And I'll tell you what happened. And no, I've not done an interview on this at all. So only a few people know about this. And like I say, I think it was so horrific that my mind just said, you've got to forget about this. But what happened was, when you go to America now, you've got to do an Esther, haven't you? Okay.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'd obviously done mine, and I'd done Julie's and what have you. And I'm OCD as hell, really. And I check paperwork all the time. I'll check my passport 10 times on the way to the airport, just in case, you know, a ferry had taken it out. I'm awful. I really am. And literally, I'd left work. I'd had to lie to them. I said, I've got a problem at home. I've got to go. Oh, yeah, no. And they were great. Oh, yeah. You all right? Oh, no, I'm all right. And I'm about to get in a car, go to the airport the night before, you know, into a hotel. And I checked the paperwork one more time. And I looked on the Esther, and my middle name was not on the Esther. And I thought, how have I managed to cock that up? Oh, my God. Right, so Google it. Right, it's probably not a problem. Google it. Do you need your middle name? Yes, they won't allow you in. Oh, my God. So, and this is less than 24 hours for the flight. And I'm thinking, what am I going to do? And I thought, okay, I'll go back into my account and I'll change it. And this happened. So I literally logged into the account, and an email came straight through saying your Esther has been cancelled. Oh, my. And that's it. I just lost it then. I thought, all this work, I've just managed to nose everything up. What the heck am I going to do? So I rang through to the guys in America, and they were brilliant. Said, don't worry, you can come a day later. I don't know what to do. You know, thinking all this effort, and trust me, it was. And I thought, I've just managed to cock it all up. And they said, look, just apply for another one. Go to the airport. If it comes through in time, fine. If it doesn't, we'll just change your flight. It's all right. We get this all the time. Not with me. You know, so, and I just blocked it out. But luckily, I just, but this was the thing. When I did it again, and of course I'd done it weeks before, so I wasn't sure how I did it and how I'd managed not to put my middle name on. It wasn't my fault, because you don't put your name in. You scan your passport and the details come up. So it was a glitch on their system that had done it. So as soon as I clicked it on it again, it came up with my middle name. And luckily, within 3 hours, we were on our way up to the airport, and I got a thing through saying your Esther has been approved.
I've got a similar story. Nothing like that, because I wasn't going over to be on national television.
No.
I was just going over for an AM trip. But I've done the same thing. I've literally remembered a day before having checked everything, and then thought, my Esther's expired, and I'm flying in less than 12 hours.
Oh,
but it did. It came through. It just came through.
All right.
I can better that.
You've flown without an Esther.
No.
Oh, no, what? Oh, dear, oh, dear.
No,
Good
you
luck
can't
with
fly
that.
without an Esther. But
Good luck with that one.
so the Esther lasts 2 years, doesn't it?
Yes.
So I'd been to Nam in January, and we were going on a family holiday to America in July, and I'd forgotten. So we did the family's Esters, my wife and my kids' Esters and stuff like that. And I was like, don't worry about it, I've got one. You know, I only paid for it in January. It lasts for 2 years. I forgot that I'd changed my passport. So we were stood at check-in, and he checked in my wife and my kids, and then couldn't check me in.
Oh, this was at the airport.
Oh, literally at check-in.
Oh my God!
And the guy was like, "It's all right, don't worry about it. Have you got a phone?" "Yeah, I've got a phone." "Go over there and fill in an ESTA." So I went, and to do it on your phone is a nightmare.
Right.
It kept saying, what's your country of residence? And I was putting UK, and it kept changing it to UK Virgin Islands, which is not where I live.
No, tax exile.
So I had to do it about 4 times, at which point I'm starting to freak out.
Yeah.
My family's starting to freak out. I finally get it done, and I walk the 20 foot back to the desk, and he went, "Yep, it's all approved."
Crikey. But it makes you go cold, doesn't it?
Oh, well, cold and very hot.
Yeah.
I was sweating a lot.
Oh, dear. I had forgotten about it. It was only a few months ago that I just remembered. I just blanked it out because I remember it, and I thought, because I don't like letting people down, and I thought, I can't do this to them. They've been so good. Look how much money, mind you, not being funny, that show cost millions and millions to produce. The amount of equipment, the hire of that auditorium is staggering. So luckily, anyway, everything went all right.
Do you know what the funny part of that story is? That when we actually landed in the States,
Right.
we're going through customs again, and they take my passport and they go, "Yep, thank you." They take my kids' passports. I go, "Thank you." And then they stop my wife, and they just held us there because apparently she looks like someone who's on the America's Most Wanted list.
Oh, no. Oh, I could die now. Oh, dear. Right. Oh, heck. Yeah. You don't want to mess around with American customs people.
No, they have no sense of humour.
I know. When I went back the second time, I was like, "Why have you got a guitar?" I said, "Well, you're going to find this hard to believe. I'm actually on America's Got Talent." "Oh, really?" Yeah, here's a letter. They're looking through it. Really? I said, "Yes, honestly." Yeah. Okay. Off we go. Scary.
Right. So, okay, you've done the America's Got Talent bit.
Yeah,
How many times were you on?
Twice. So I went the first day I was only there. Oh, the first time I was only there 2 days. The second time we were back for 11 days. So I'll tell you where I was. It was the 6th of June because I was watching Roger Waters in London.
Right.
And we were coming back on the tube. And when the tube come back onto the overground, I literally got all your emails and what have you quite late at night, and there's one from AGT, and I said, "Oh, great, perhaps I'm on the telly next week." And it wasn't. It was them saying, "Congratulations, you've been picked to go through to the semi-finals." So, which was great. I actually got the next one the next day, saying I was on the following week. So then we went back in August, but that was for 11 days. So then, you are there because obviously the shows are live and there's lots of, crikey. I thought, stupidly, that we were going to get some time off. Now, unfortunately, they didn't pay for my wife the second time. But we weren't having a holiday that summer. So I said, "Look, I don't want to be there 11 days on my own. It'll be our holiday." Thinking that I might get some time off. I had one afternoon off. That was it, which we got in an Uber, which was the first time I'd ever done that, and went down to Santa Monica and had a really nice time. It's that you wouldn't believe the amount of work that you are doing. I mean, the first day in wardrobe was, and that was just the first day, was 4.5 hours. What was it? 10 pairs of trousers, 30 shirts, 6 pairs of shoes. Yeah, and can you try this one next? Right, okay, so you go in, get changed, come out, take a photo. Right, can you try this combination next? Blah, 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 Yeah.
Wow.
What? I did not expect you to say that.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of it goes on. Yeah, the show is big. They got to make sure everything's right, and you got to look good. Well, try and look good. I mean, crikey, come on. So yeah. So there's so much, and you've got to make sure that you're pretty much performing the piece that you're doing every day. I think one of the funniest things though was we had while we were there, they had the first tropical storm since 1939. So everything came to a halt, because the end of the world was coming. And realistically, it was just like a November Sunday, really, raining. It was a bit grim, but it wasn't as bad as what we thought. But I was at the end of the bed. There was like an ottoman, and I was just sat on there with my headphones on, practicing my bits when my wife was on the bed. Then suddenly, I get this whack round the head. What the hell's going on there? She said, "There's an earthquake." I said, "Shut up! I'm just playing here." I missed the earthquake. It was a 5-point summit. I don't know. Because, of course, they do get them there, but, everybody goes about their business, don't they? But, yeah, so there is, every day there's something going on, or you're doing an interview, or they're doing B-roll, and, oh, Jesus. I mean, it's a humongous organisation, so much bigger than I would have ever imagined. It's just huge, but wow. That's what it is. They got a big, a lot of people watch it. So, but they were all good people. They were really good people. Yeah, really cool. Very supportive. Nothing really was too much trouble for them. So, I can't moan at them at all.
The next thing then, because I'm trying to plot this in my own head then.
Yeah.
But at that point in time, and excuse my ignorance here if I've got something wrong, right? But when do you then brand yourself as the Old Grey Guitarist?
That's going back pre AGT. And what actually happened there was, and I didn't even remember that for a while, I was at the PRU and I had my iPad open. And I initially set it up under John Wines and then my letters for my teaching diploma. Because that's what I set it up to do as a teacher. And one of the kids there saw my iPad and he saw the, what they call it, thumbnails, I don't know, for TikTok. He said, "Oh, you on TikTok then?" I thought, oh, no. So I literally went home and thought, he knows my name. I don't want anyone to find me at all. Because as a teacher, they don't like you too much being on social media. You're supposed to tie everything down and, be private and whatever. Well, a bit late for that, like. So I thought, well, what am I going to call myself? And it was just like, well, I'm old, I'm grey, I'm a guitarist, that'll do. So that's how I rebranded it. Turns out it's probably the best thing I did, but I didn't know at the time. So I kind of fell into that. It was just an accident that if he hadn't have said that, I probably never would have called myself that. But I just didn't want him to find me on social media. Well, of course, and then as soon as you go viral, everybody knows.
Yeah.
So it's a waste of time then, Oh, well, hey-ho.
Well, see, again, do you know what I really like about your story is every one of these little things are all random. They're to a certain extent, they're all disconnected.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But then somehow fate has kicked in and has kind of, it's almost as if you tried to do this in the order you've done it in, you wouldn't have been able to have done it.
No, I never meant to do it. I got so much ribbon because over the years, and I've been teaching in schools for 21 years now, so many kids over the years have said to me, "Were you ever in a band, sir?" "Well, I'm still playing a band, "Oh, okay. Were you ever famous?" I said, "No, and I've never wanted to be." So, of course, as soon as it happened, it's like, you said this. Yeah, I know I said that, and I still don't kind of want to be because I'm fiercely protective of my private life. Because I like to separate myself. I mean, that's waste of time now, isn't it? A complete waste of time. But, so, yeah, I never meant to be. I never wanted to be.
But it's just the way it's that whole thing of you could not have done this any better than you've done it, and yet every single bit of it's been unique, disconnected, and you've almost fallen into it all. Because the branding's,
I just fell into that.
I know, and it's perfect. You could have employed somebody and paid thousands to come up with something that wasn't as good as what you've got.
It literally was. I was in a panic because I needed to change it that night. I got home and it was the first thing I did. It's like, I need to change this now. Yeah. What the hell am I going to say? And it was literally, Old Grey Guitarist. That'll do.
Yeah.
That was it.
And like you say, that ship's absolutely sailed now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. I'd give in. I mean, I don't know. Is there such a thing as karma? I mean, things have happened.
There is, and you're it. I mean, you are it. You are the living embodiment of karma.
Yeah, it ain't all great.
Well, no, but that's karma as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I must have done some bad things as well. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, because people say, oh yeah, and they say, oh yeah, it must be brilliant, blah blah blah. Well, I suppose it is. I don't know. I mean, it's something to me. It's the AGT thing is what people mostly want to talk about, which is fine. I fell into it. It's something I did. It's just something I did, and don't get me wrong, I loved it. I really did. It was who's going to get the chance to do that? There's obviously a lot of other people who say, well, you sold out, and you get the haters and whatever. I don't care. Whatever. You telling me that if you're going to get off of that, you're not going to do it, especially as you're trying to get big on social media. Forget it. Of course you're going to do it. You reach millions of people overnight.
Yeah. I'm assuming that you're going to treat the rest of it the way you've treated it so far, which is it'll run as long as it runs. It is what it is.
Yeah. I've just said that to a friend earlier on. I said, I am going to give it another year. Let's see what's happening, because, it's been 2 years now, just over 2 years since I went viral. And everyone says, oh, yeah, you're going to earn a fortune if you've got this many followers. Yeah. You can earn this. Hey, hang on a minute. There's a lot of nonsense talked about that. Now, I'm lucky. I'm working with a guy now who's managing me, who used to work for Black Star. He's been great. I worked with him at Black Star. He went out on his own. And I said, look, can you help me? And he said, yeah, all right, then. Let's sort out a deal. Because he knows the game. I don't know it. I haven't got a clue. Listen, I can't do anything on the internet. I'm useless. I can't do video editing. So, and he's got lots of contacts within the trade. So it's worked out really well. So we've been working since the beginning of the year, and now it's starting to pay off. I've had to invest heavily in cameras and goodness knows what else, but that's what I'm doing, and I'm giving it another year, and hopefully this has got some longevity to it. Hopefully, I don't know. We're getting repeat business from some firms now, which is good. So I'm guessing they're liking what we're doing. I don't know, and hopefully it's a little bit of a retirement plan. Yeah. Because I haven't really got one. Yeah. No, I don't want to. And people say, oh, when are you going to give up teaching? No, I'm not. No, sorry, I'm not going to do that. Yes, I'll cut down, but I'm not giving it up because I love what I do. And yeah, I can't do that. I can't do that. I've been where I've been today. It's been great. I've had a really good day. Kids are great, yeah. So why would I give that up? I'm not going to. I still want to do it. I maybe want to do a bit less, because when you're running 5 days a week and trying to do all the videos and trying to do everything else, you are working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day and sometimes more. So I'd like to slow down a bit, but but the trouble is, I can't say, right, I've given up my jobs and I'm going to do this full time, because there might not be any longevity in it. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Hopefully there will be, but
Well, we know you've got a booking for March next year.
Yes, this is true. I'm looking forward to that.
Yes. So John's going to come and do the guitar show for me, which is brilliant.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Hopefully, we're
I
going
think
to
it's
do
fantastic. I think
Yeah.
so. And obviously you've dropped into conversation. You were coming to Nam for the first time.
Yes.
I'm assuming you're going to let us buy you a coffee.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know where I'm staying. I've got no idea. I know it's been booked. They've booked it. Nam have booked it. I think I've got to do a clinic or something. I'm not even sure, if I'm honest with you. I think I've got to do a talk or something.
Well,
I don't know. I haven't got a clue. Ollie would tell me.
I think this will be my 16th Nam this year.
Oh,
and
really?
Of the two of us, I'm the one I'm the apprentice to Jace, who's done about 47.
22, I think.
Between us, we'll make sure you're all right.
Oh, no, that's cool, because I am looking forward to it. I've just done Guitar Summit, as you know, and that was great. That was huge. That was
Good show.
Oh, you have no idea
very-
then. if you think Guitar Summit's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I've been told wear comfortable walking shoes
Yes, you need comfortable walking shoes.
and earplugs.
Yeah. Was it last year? No, it was the year before, wasn't it, that we stayed about a mile away?
Yes.
All Ant did was moan about the fact that he hadn't worn comfortable walking shoes. I'm like, how many of these have you done?
Yeah.
Right.
Honestly, seriously, if you are a decent distance away, and you can easily be half a mile to a mile away
Really?
from the event, because there's just so many hotels, because obviously it's Disney.
Is it? It's near Disney, is it?
Oh, so it's not just near Disney. You can see Disney from
really?
the event. Oh, yeah, it's that close.
Gosh, I didn't know that. I had no idea.
Yeah, it's that
I've not
close.
even looked on a map, so I know it's LA, but...
it's that close.
right.
But the sidewalks are, it's going to sound really daft because they're concrete, but the sidewalks are a really hard concrete, which seems like the most ridiculous statement you're ever going to hear.
Well...
But they are. The sidewalks are really hard. And so you walk for a mile in a pair of, like sort of dress smart shoes, and your feet are killing you, which they were. And of course, Jason's used to me moaning when I'm out there, so I was moaning about that. But no, we'll see you. We'll see you right. We've got we've got one last question
Go
before
on,
we
no
go.
worries.
And would you believe an hour has flown by? It's amazing, amazing when we talk about these things.
Fine.
So that very first, and I'm sorry, I'm going to take you back to AGT.
That's right.
That very first performance.
Oh, God.
Okay,
Yes.
and with a startling piece of knitwear, and it is a startling piece of knitwear.
Yeah.
I think that the glasses were there on purpose.
No.
Jason thinks it was an accident. Which one of us is right?
Right. I forgot to put them on. I was that hacking myself. I actually, because it made me laugh when I listened back to it, because the recollection of it, of actually doing it, was just sheer terror and not really remembering anything. All I do remember was the one thing, as soon as I came off stage, because it all went a bit wrong, and I'd never done it before, and I've never managed it since. But when I did that first dive bomb, the top E got caught underneath the neck pickup. And I quickly just pinged it out, and luckily it didn't break or go out of tune.
Yeah.
So luckily on that. So I remember that. And then you're like a rabbit in the headlights. And then obviously about halfway through, you can start hearing people scream and what have you, and thinking, okay, maybe this is going all right. But it was all over in a second, and you don't really remember too much of it. But I remember when I watched it back, or when they aired it, and Heidi said, "Oh, you had your eyes closed." I said, "Just as well have, because I forgot to put my glasses on." So no, I always do have my glasses around my neck, because I always used to sit on them or lose them. So that's why I always do it. So as you can see, these have got that. I can never find the blooming things, so that's why I always have glasses there. But I forgot to put them on.
As we've talked about, everything you've told us today being somehow accidental. Right?
Yeah, it was.
Because I said to Jace, I think if that was planned, it was the most genius bit because it really reaffirmed the look.
Right.
That's
how I always am. I've always got the glasses hanging around my neck. It's just that when I was that nervous about starting that you're thinking, right, I've got to make sure, give them the nod, but right, have I got the right pedals on, right? Because the last thing you want to do, even though it is taped, to me it was live. I'm frightened of getting something wrong, so that's the last thing I thought of. And of course, it wasn't until I came off stage I thought, oh, I forgot to put my glasses on.
And yet, where they were was so perfect.
It's just by accident. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do us a favour, yeah? If you're buying a lucky dip at any time soon, get me one as well, will you?
Yeah, I've tried, trust me. Yeah, I've tried. No, that don't work, unfortunately.
Right. John, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Oh, thanks, man.
And obviously, I was going to say really looking forward to seeing you at the guitar show next year, but actually really looking forward to seeing you in Nam.
Yes, we'll definitely catch up in Nam. We've got our email addresses.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I haven't got a clue where I'm staying. I've got no idea.
We'll find you. We'll find you.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, thank you for your time. Jace,
no, pleasure.
As always, lovely to see you, my friend.
And you.
And we will be back very, very soon for the next one of these.
All right. Bye.
Thanks for listening to 9 to 42, the podcast from the team at the Guitar Show UK. If you've enjoyed the show, then please remember to hit the subscribe button and share with other like-minded souls. For more information about 9 to 42, please follow us on Facebook, Twitter or Instagram at the Guitar Show UK. This has been an A Short Stories production.